Bobby.
Bobby.
It's good to see you, dude. You just move a lot of parts this week.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
dude.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
An
dude.
emphatic yes.
Fucking yes, dude. We got Ian here. Ian, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to another episode of Help I'm High and Can't Get Down. We got one of my favorite locals, Ian
That's
Miller,
me.
Comedian, extraordinaire. Does shows all around.
Yeah, we're out
Don't
here.
Tells. You got shows all around.
Yeah.
What's your schedule looking up soon?
Steve Hofstetter just hit me up we're doing a theater in Lithopolis, Ohio. So it's like the most liberal comedian of all time doing a theater in rural Ohio. So I'm going to open for him in December.
I just saw a post from him today looking for comedians in like the South Carolina, Georgia, or maybe not. Yeah,
South Carolina. So he just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. So he's like trying to help out that scene there. He lived in Pittsburgh and did a lot for the Pittsburgh scene. And then he very similarly shot out one of those like, hey, I'm just like looking for a local comedian like 2 years ago when he was at the Funny Bone.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how about me? And he said, okay. And
nice.
so yeah, this is like the fourth show that we're doing together. It's been like,
yeah.
he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And so Dan Seabury, I don't know if you've hit him on the podcast yet.
I have not.
Great comedy mind, great guy to talk about comedy with. And he and I were just talking about this. There's a new thing where crowds lately have been bad. It's just like, it's our opinion that crowds lately have been kind of not as good. And this is just the random crowd, right? This is the nobody, not going to see anybody, just showing up crowd. It's been not as good as it was like 2 or 3 years ago, right? And then like, you have the time before that. But people that curate their crowds, people that bring their own crowds are bringing the best crowds. Like, and like he features for Ashley Gavin regularly and like all of her crowds rip. I just did a weekend with Trey Crowder, his crowds rip. And Steve Hofstetter's another crowd where it's just like the crowds that they've curated by being themselves are so good that you can just go and it's like, it's awesome. And it's really given me like, my new goal in comedy is to create people that like me for me so that if I were to get big and go do jokes, I could do the jokes that I want to do. Yeah. And there are people that like fuck with me on that level. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about that similarly, not same scenario, but like, I like wait tables.
Right.
And I work at a breakfast spot now, whereas like, dinner, you're not really trying to bug them, and you're not trying to bug them when you're serving anyways, but like old people really love chatting up, and like people who go to breakfast sometimes are just awfully friendly.
Yeah.
And so I thought about the same thing where it's like a lot of these people know I do comedy and stuff like that. And it's like, or they'll find out, through time and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, like, wouldn't it be nice to just meet a bunch of people? And it's kind of like, handing out tickets to like a show that's not even produced yet. But it's just like, hey, like, you guys say you love me. You guys want to come and see a comedy show?
Hey.
Maybe you'll find out you don't love me as much as you thought you did.
Right. And that used to be something back in the day that me and my roommate used to talk about was new comics having friend coupons to get people out to shows where it's like every comic has a finite amount of friend coupons.
Yeah. I think in my experience, I've learned that you have like two. You have like the very first one where it's like, oh, this is my first time going out. And then you have like maybe one show and you're like, oh, because then they remember that first time and they're like, oh, shoot, you're doing a show now. I'll go and see this. But then after that, it's like,
right. The joke used to be that like, they'll come if it's at the Funny Bone, but that's it. You know what I mean? If you're like, hey, I'm doing a show at the Funny Bone, they'll be like, all right, I'll go. But if you're just like, hey, I'm at a bar for the 78th time. Do you want to come hang out?
Dave Chappelle could be there, and they'd be like,
they're like, not on a Thursday. No thanks. It's funny.
But yeah, dude, that's crazy. But and a bunch of open micers at a Funny Bone. Yeah, I'll go see that. I'll pay $5 to go see that.
Exactly. It was wild. And the brand of comic that they don't go to open mics. They only go to the Funny Bone open mic. Like,
dude, that blows my mind. And the thing that is also super crazy is like how many first timers end up at the Funny Bone. Like
Right.
they like it's like I go there. I'm like, you know, everyone knows about the Funny Bone. You know, regular comedians and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden you get like 4 people who's like, this is my first time ever being on stage, and I'm like, wow,
Right.
that's
right.
crazy,
Right.
And then they're like, I have this whole monologue. The last time I went to the Funny Bone, the last one we were just at, dude. One of the guys, he stopped me and he's like, I have like this whole monologue and everything that I've been working on. And I was like, okay, stop. I was like, stop right there. I was like, the only thing that you need to focus on is just telling one joke.
Yeah.
I was like, just tell one, and then whatever you do for the rest of it, because you'll remember the laughs and not the not laughs. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I was like, dude, whatever the monologue is, like...
That's so funny. Just be like, hey, I'm here for an open mic. I'm going to pretend like it's the beginning of Conan.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane, dude.
Dude, no, man, but like, you know, I mean, I like the Funny Bone open mic. You know, the bar open mic is still pretty good. I feel like the last few times that I've gone, it's been pretty full.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And then, but yeah, I was going to say, like, some of the other mics are just like hit or miss, like here in Columbus. I felt like, you know, and maybe, you know, now it's cold. So, you know, that it plays a big part in it. But like,
So I have a theory, and it's every
Conspiracy theory.
year. No, every year it plays out to be true.
Okay.
So in Columbus,
Yeah.
we just talked before we started rolling about how it's hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and
yeah,
cold.
yeah, yeah.
So, and this is what you have to just time it with luck. You actually get better crowds in the winter, right? Because there's just less shit to do. The weather's shitty, so you want to be inside. You know what I mean? But you have to wait for it to get cold and stay cold for 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah, because what happens is when it first gets cold, everybody's like, I can stay inside and wait this out. And sometimes they can. Like if you stayed inside all last week to wait out warm weather, it got here and it was 60 degrees on Saturday and you were fine. It has to be cold for 2 straight weeks, and then people realize like, damn,
This is fucked.
this is just this is my life. I either have to deal with the cold or I have to like adjust to just being like inside for the rest of, and then they'll eventually start coming out. So that's like,
Okay.
people want to pull off the gas in like December and January, and they want to go into hibernation mode. It's a great time to do comedy. It's like a great time, and it sucks because you can actually get a lot of road work then, because people also don't want to drive. So if you hit up people out of town and be like, hey, I will drive to your spot in, you know, like Detroit. I love going to Detroit. If you're like, hey, I'll drive to Detroit in December and do a show, that will be mostly full, but it will be minus 10 degrees outside when I smoke cigarettes. You can get a lot of stage time that way.
Yeah, it's good advice.
Yeah, it's a thing for when it's cold. Like when it's cold specifically, don't be afraid to double down, especially on driving. You might die. Because,
yeah.
Because it truly does suck to drive in the winter, but like,
hey, you might get some more material.
yeah,
on the way.
stage time is stage time.
But dude, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, dude, it is. Ohio's wild. Like we were talking about it a little bit before with like the weather and everything.
Yeah.
People are wild with like how they view, you know, oh, I'm going to try to stay in for 2 weeks and wait out this cold. You know. It is weird because it did get warm. Like you said, it did get warm. And it is
and
middle of November. So.
Right. And then it just like, it was like 30 degrees for 4 days, and then it was 60 degrees. And it's like, now that it's cold, hopefully it'll stay cold. You also have to realize that like, we won't see the sun again until like April.
Yeah.
So like it takes a special kind of hard person to survive in an Ohio winter.
Yeah, maybe that's why Ohio people, you know, there's a lot of successful Ohio people.
Yeah,
you know? I think what we're like second or third in presidents.
Yeah, I think we're second in presidents. Like I think Virginia, which doesn't like they had a head start.
That's where we started.
Right, exactly. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's like
they're not even a state. They're a commonwealth. Which they are very proud of that, and it's just important to remember that.
What's the difference?
There isn't one, but they'll fucking. It's so people from Virginia and Pennsylvania love bringing up that they're from fucking commonwealths, and then you're like, "What's?" And they're like, "No, it's just we get to be pretentious."
I actually maybe this isn't true, but maybe you know a little bit better. Like I knew that like Washington D.C. like wasn't like a part of a state.
Yeah,
but it's like its own thing.
Yeah,
it's like its own thing, and I like was like learning that like that the city of London and then maybe the Vatican are like the only 3 cities that operate in the way that like DC does.
Yeah. So the Vatican's its whole ass country, which is crazy.
Which is just it's just a city,
and it's
right?
just a city. Yeah, Vatican City. It's the smallest country in the world. But yeah, DC doesn't because like it's in the Constitution that our capital cannot be part of the states.
Okay.
So it has to like.
Because nobody can claim it, so nobody can be like, whoa, we're in North Carolina. We actually have it.
Right. This is the capital.
Yeah.
The capital is here. So it's like they call it the DMV, which is DC, Maryland, and Virginia. It's like right there, that little like cross section where everybody lives. So generally, if you like work in DC, you live in the DMV and live in either like the rich part of Maryland or the rich part of Virginia.
Wow.
Because it's super fucking expensive there. It's crazy expensive.
Dang. Have you done stand-up there before?
No, I haven't. I've actually never been to DC. It's like
one
of the things where it's like I need to take a long weekend and
you
go there.
You probably should. With all the stuff you say online.
So it's crazy. I used to work for a call center. I still work for a call center, but I used to work for
a different call center.
But I used to too. And one of the things that we did was like the thing that we serviced was very popular in like in Maryland and Virginia. So I spent like hours and hours on the phone with people from Maryland and Virginia. So I feel like I know them. I feel like we're bonded. Yeah.
Nice. You got a lot of material on that. Like you could go there and like talk about that.
Yeah.
You probably talked to half of them.
Right. There's this place, one of the cities that we did, it was like Upper Marlboro, Maryland is like what it was, but it's like a very black city. So every person that called in, like we would have to have them read their, like give us the name and the address on the account. And every single person pronounced Upper Marlboro, Maryland as Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And it was just like one really long word. And it was like, hell yeah, dude. I know everything I need to know about this town.
Dude,
it's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost like I haven't actually I haven't been to like the southern parts of Ohio, but I hear that they're pretty crazy.
Oh, first of all, they're the best.
Are they?
Yeah. I love Appalachia. Shout out Lori Graves. Have you need to have you ever done Lori Graves' mic in Jackson, Ohio?
I have not.
Do it.
Okay.
It's crazy. So it's at this place called the Stockyard in Jackson, Ohio. I love Jackson, Ohio. It is a very rural town about an hour and a half away from here. And it's crazy because the first 2 times that the first time I went there, I was like, okay, this is weird because it's like a very small rural town. And I was standing there and I was like, every girl in this place is hot. Like, this is insane. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I went with a few comics because that was like a showcase.
Bobby, can you just wiggle that cord a little bit?
That was a showcase. This was just an open mic. And a
little higher. There you go. Oh, no.
Did we lose a light?
We might have. Let's see. There you go. Dang. All right. But continue. Hot girls.
Yeah,
You're wondering why.
Yeah, it was a showcase. Then we went down there for an open mic, and I took some other Columbus comics. And then we were hanging out, and one of them looked at me, and he was like, is it just me, or is every girl in here hot? And I was like, dude, I don't know what it is. They're keeping all the hot girls in Jackson, Ohio, but yeah, it's a great.
Where's JD from?
JD Vance. He's from Middleton, which is like between Cincinnati and here.
Okay.
But he wrote a book about where his grandma was from.
Okay.
Which is like, JD Vance's brother also just lost running for mayor of Cincinnati by like 40 points, which is really, really funny. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're close.
Yeah. Dude, he was this. Dude, he was this far. Yeah. If 1 out of every 5 people died on the way to voting, he would have had a shot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I know that, like, man, I don't even know how close, like, Bush and Gore's.
Yeah, it was like 1%.
Yeah, but, like,
he lost
that guy is, like, that 40 votes?
No,
like,
40 points.
What's
like
that
40%.
Mean? Okay. Oh, 40%.
Like,
shit. Oh.
Yeah, like it was like 35-70.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He lost by a joke. Yeah. No,
40 points. Okay.
Yeah. 40 votes would be.
I was like, whoa. I was like, no. I was like, that should be news.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, one of the things that's funny is like nobody knew it was JD Vance's brother. It was JD Vance's brother. outside of Cincinnati, because like in Cincinnati they ran like a bunch of like stuff, but JD Vance changed his last name. He didn't go by Vance. He didn't go by JD or Vance until like he wrote the
stage
book.
name.
Yeah.
Oh,
everything about his.
What the fuck is up with the government, dude? Is anybody real?
I mean, Bernie Sanders, and that's it. Like Bernie Sanders,
and the fucked up thing is he's like the main Jewish guy in the
easy. All right.
Whoa,
hey.
No, but speaking on like politicians.
Speaking of the Jews,
speaking of Epstein,
Eddie only has thoughts on them.
No, so like all the Epstein stuff is coming out. More stuff is coming out, I guess. Donald Trump supposedly had Thanksgiving dinner with Epstein, his first presidency, which was, unsurprising, but whatever, I
mean, I think it's a little surprising that it was going on that long. You know what I mean? Like, because also Donald Trump was the one that, like, he was arrested during Trump's administration. So that means that he was, like, having Thanksgiving dinner with him and then being arrested by him later. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah. That's what's nuts. Like here's my problem. One, do I want it to be... I want everything that is being alleged in emails, like part of my brain wants it to be true. Like I want Donald Trump to have blown Bill Clinton. Yeah. Right? And I want Vladimir Putin to have a picture of it. Like I don't know why I shouldn't want that. I shouldn't want the president to be easily blackmailed by Russia. You know what I mean? But like I think it would be funny. I think that's what's crazy and fucked up. But I also I think that the problem with it right now, and this is going to be like the libs are going to get mad, is that like the person that is saying all of these things is Jeffrey Epstein. Right? It's like he also said he wasn't a fucking sex trafficker, and he for sure was. So like I don't think he's the most reliable narrator of the whole thing, but I think it would be crazy funny if like Donald Trump blew Bill Clinton one time. You know what I mean? It's all right. We're probably well lit enough.
We're fine. But so it's crazy because I've also heard that potentially it might not be Bill Clinton. Have you heard this?
You think Bubba's a different guy?
Not a guy. Supposedly, Ghislaine Maxwell, or whatever her fucking name is, has a horse named Bubba.
Oh, you think Donald Trump's out here sucking horse dick? That's crazy.
Sucking Bill Clinton's dick?
Equally crazy. Not equally. Not equally. Like that's the thing where it's like it's one of those things where I think part of the problem right now is that everybody is trying to be like, well, if you look at it, it's all the same. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was cancel culture. And then, like, Stavros was talking about this recently. He was like, we had cancel culture from the left, which is, like, terrible. And it shouldn't have happened. But to pretend that, like, authoritarianism is the same, it's not. Like, it's two different things. And
the thing that bugs me about, like, let's say he did blow Bill Clinton.
Sure.
Doesn't that make Bill Clinton still like one of the top guys?
Yeah.
Like, that should be like a problem. Like, if he like that would mean that he was in charge and was like, suck my dick.
Yeah.
Like that should be almost like maybe that's why he got so like I just saw something like somebody because everyone's making jokes, but like maybe that's potentially why he he flipped or whatever, but because he was a Democrat before, but maybe he's like a Republican now because
Bill Clinton made him suck his dick.
Dude, yeah. The Democrats left a bad taste in his mouth.
A literal bad taste in his mouth. No, it's one of those things where it's like I was doing it as a joke on stage, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it much longer. But I was like, we just want the Epstein files released. And then people on the right will be like, well, aren't you worried that Bill Clinton was in it? And then I was just like, I'll shoot Bill Clinton in the head right now to release the file. I don't even care if he's in the files. I'll just do it for fun. You know what I mean? He's a bad guy.
I always remember that episode of South Park when they did the 9/11 episode. And George Bush has that file.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm not like, don't look at this file. Oh, like don't pick up that file as I just dropped it. But I feel like that's what they're doing to us now, is that they're just like, I don't know. They're like, it's almost like a movie or like a video game or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just like giving us like slightly good stuff. And who knows, maybe the main thing that we're like, you know how like sometimes they'll put a trailer out for a movie and then people are like, oh dude, you fucking ruined the movie because you put the funny parts in the trailer, or you put the plot and the whole thing,
right?
And so it's like, maybe they'll do that accidentally with the files, and then we'll be like, oh, this is like what's really, because like what, I don't know, like what's going on, like so what could the what blackmail operation are they running?
So Trump today said, vote yes. He said release them. He said Republicans. So what was happening was there was like an issue that what was going to happen was, so they have enough signatures on the petition. It was going to force a vote in the House. And then what Republicans were essentially worried about was there was going to be a list of paper of being like, who thinks we should release them and who doesn't, and that everybody that voted no was essentially just going to be voted out of Congress because they're protecting pedophiles, right?
Yeah.
So as of this morning, Donald Trump was like, Republicans vote yes to release the files in the House. So that's a big change, which makes a lot of people just be like, they're just going to be redacted. They're just going to be, they're not going to give us anything, or that Trump is going to start an investigation into Bill Clinton and say we can't release them because they're part of an ongoing investigation.
That would probably be his smartest move,
right?
Because
it's what he did with his taxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then he could just be like, I said I was going to release them, but then once like I found out some of we had to investigate them, like
right, exactly. These evil Democrats need to be investigated.
He's got a picture of me sucking his dick.
right.
We gotta find this.
Yeah,
thing.
we gotta find it. We gotta get rid of it. It's
but my thing is, it's like, what would that do?
The blackmail?
Like, yeah, like let's say Putin is just like, I'm gonna put out. It's funny because every time we talk shit about Trump,
it gets dark. It gets
but then
dark.
it's like as soon as you were like, he voted yes,
it was like, dude, God knows. God knows.
But dude, it's so funny because it's like, is it like he releases that picture and then we just fucking overthrow the government? Like,
it's just too funny. It's too funny.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So there are the people that say, man, that Jeffrey Epstein was working for Mossad.
Yeah.
So that's the, because he's got pictures in like IDF gear and shit like that. So
my thing is though, is that like, but like what's their main goal? Because if Mossad's main goal is to like keep Israel a state,
right?
You know what I mean? They're doing a really bad job at PR,
right?
Like,
they're the worst of all time,
yeah. Like,
or really good, like you know what I mean? It's either. See, here's the thing: you can look at that's what's crazy about it.
Don't know.
Is you can look at it and you can be like, damn, everyone hates Israel. This is crazy. They've got terrible PR. And that's one way you can look at it. And the other way you can look at it is they're actively doing a genocide.
Yeah.
And more than a couple of people are like, let them go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And by more than a couple of people, I mean both of the House and Senate of the United States of America. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like crazy, but I think it's just they can get infinite money that way. You know what I mean? Like, so Israel is always like, before it was Israel, they call it mandatory Palestine from like an international perspective because of the British mandate.
Yeah.
And like the former prince just got Prince Andrew, the artist formerly known as Prince Andrew, just got all of his royalty stripped by the king, by King Charles, for being involved in like the Epstein shit.
Yeah.
So if you have the leaders of the United States, you have the leaders of the UK, you have essentially there's a lot of talk that like there's a lot of like German influence there because so Israel has recently started buying a lot of arms from Germany. So they're saying if you have the United States, Germany, and Great Britain, how many other countries do you need to just never run out of missiles?
Yeah.
And the answer is none.
Yeah.
because like all of those people are like, you know what I mean? And then there's the other side of the world where it's like Russia, Iran, China, you know?
Well, yeah, because I don't hear shit about China anymore.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah.
Like Trump's first presidency was like China. Like, you know, it's like literally just a whole 50-minute reel of just China.
Yeah.
And it's just like now we don't hear anything about them.
Yeah.
So is that scary, or should we be worried about that? What do they think about Israel? Like, I
Well,
don't know. I was like,
You've never thought.
Yeah, I was like, what are their thoughts?
So it's like
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, it's just like it's just so crazy to me that like, and I, you know, part of me worries. A little bit of me worries, like not saying that what they're doing in Palestine and Gaza and everything right now is
Sure.
like not bad, but a part of me worries that maybe that there is like a slight psyop going on. Like they're trying to be like making people like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? But then at the same time, it's like, then who's doing that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Then, and it's just like, everyone's just pulling strings online.
Right.
You talk about fucking, you know, penis enlargement pills, and the next day it's all over your fucking internet. It's like, what the fuck is actually happening right now? I don't even know.
No, it's nuts. And like one of the things that's like really interesting to me right now is like the amount of people that are going back to being Christian. Like Christianity is like, it feels like not an all-time high, but like our lifetime.
It almost feels like a resurgence.
It's crazy. And it makes me feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I feel like I was one of the first people that was like, I feel like a lot of people our age just like took a break from religion. Like we were just like, you know what? And I've had this conversation with my dad because when I was a kid, before my dad married my mom, he had to convert to Catholicism so that they could get married to the Catholic Church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like my parents growing up were both like super Catholic. My mom went to Catholic school and all of that stuff. And my brother and I, we were the first ones to just be like, we're not going to be religious. And when my dad asked me why, I was like, well, I grew up like a millennial. For millennials, there's a lot of things that we all believed. And then like, or most of us believed, all of my friends believed, and all of those things, like every problem we had was caused by religion. You know what I mean? 9/11 was caused by religion. Not being able to get an abortion was caused by religion. Gay people not being able to get married was caused by religion. And all of us just collectively were like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. And then we stopped. And then to see a bunch of people, even like millennials our age or people like slightly older than us that grew up atheist, all of a sudden start posting like,
I mean, dude,
Christian shit. It's like, it's one of those things that makes me just be like, what happened? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I would say like the past like, you know, few years of my life, I've been like creeping towards Christianity again, and I don't know what it is, but like I do know that like I heard some guy talking on a video about it one time, and he was like, you know, you read all of these, you know, religious texts, and you'll read, you know, the Buddhists, all these people, and whoever mentions Jesus normally, typically will say, pretty good guy. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, some of them, you know, the Muslims believed he was like a prophet of God and everything. The only one that talks shit is Judaism's books.
Well, it's complicated.
Oh, yeah.
So, great book for you to read is a book called The Separation of Church and Hate.
Okay.
Which is a very good book, and what it does is it takes a lot of like, here is what Jesus said in the Bible. Yeah. Here are the things that we've got. Because like Jesus never quit being a Jew, which is like a very, you know, important thing I feel like to remember. Exactly. Yeah. Is that he was just seen as a radical reformer. You know what I mean? Like that's and you know, to your point, there is something about getting older where it's like, I don't know if it's like for you becoming a father, for me just like having people around me start dying, where there is like part of you wants to be like, you want to be like, all right. And for me, a lot of it, when I default, it goes back to, you know, my years. You knew. Growing up, being raised Catholic, going to like CCD every Monday, and my extra, you know, went to regular school, but Catholic school every, you know, Monday for 3 hours. So like you revert back to that. And that book really helped me as I was reading it, of just being like, you know what? It's okay for me to not want to be Christian.
Yeah.
But it's also okay for me to be like, you know what? This Jesus guy is pretty all right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, and have those both be a part of who I am now, which is cool. But the book does a great job of separating what Jesus said from what the first Pope Paul said.
Yeah.
And like where it diverges, and like that's
Okay.
I feel like everybody should read it. I feel like
Okay.
it's
The
John
separation of
church and hate.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
And it does like a really good job of being like,
Yeah.
here's what Jesus thought. Everybody chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially just because another thing now, as was happening before, when I feel like we had like a bunch of people quit being religious, there's a lot of people saying Jesus said some shit he didn't say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that
it was
happens
just
a-
like,
but which is crazy because that's what it says would happen.
right.
It's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of those, like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just like self-fulfilling prophecy or some shit like that.
Right.
But it is like super crazy. Like, you know, you can kind of twist some of the things that it's saying to like make it fit the time, but you're just like, man, a lot of that sounds like, you know, like the thing that bugs me now is like cryptocurrency. Like now I'm like low key thinking it's a trap. Like I'm like, damn, like I was really into like, you know, sovereign currency, you know, not being tied to anybody. But now I'm like, fuck, what if they fucking created it? Like what if the US or the Chinese literally created it, and now it's like, oh, well, now you have to use this, and now every transaction you have is tracked.
Right.
So you can't fucking buy drugs that we don't like you buying. We don't want you buying a book or some shit. And it's like, because we can see it. We can see the transactions.
Right.
And I'm like, so now I'm like, fuck, maybe that's the mark of the beast. I don't know. Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows, dude?
And it all, like a bunch of it crashed today. I don't know if you saw that, but
oh, did it?
Yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum crashed. They're like,
oh,
Bitcoin's
wow.
under 90,000, Ethereum's under 3K or something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
I was gonna say because yesterday it was at like 98 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's been like teetering around like 105, 110 for the past like few months. But yeah, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. They're saying like $800 billion of Bitcoin has been sold back into markets, like dropping the price. So there's like,
Wow.
yeah. So nobody knows what's happening.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Nick Fuentes?
Nick Fuente.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah.
I think he's a Nazi.
Dude, do you?
Yeah. It's crazy because like there was somebody else. I was talking with somebody and it was, we were talking about Nick Fuentes and then we were talking about Sam Hyde.
Okay.
And
I don't know if I know who that one is.
he's a comedian. I use that in like air quotes because it's like, yeah, everybody, if you call yourself a comedian, you can just like,
Yeah, you can kind of
you say you're a comedian, but it's like you peddle in hate. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Like, and it was funny because I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were like, "Nah, he's got some good bits," and I was like, "Yeah," but I'm like, pretty sure he's a Nazi. And then that guy I know is a big Legion of Skanks fan.
Okay.
And I was listening to the Regs, and Louis J. Gomez is talking about Sam Hyde, and he goes, "Yeah, I think he's a Nazi, but." He's a pretty good guy. And I was
That's
like,
funny.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, so I know I'm right here.
It's funny because like I listen to his stuff and it's like, you know, people who are good at like it's like the same thing that like Trump was good at, where it's like you can say something that's true, but then there's like an amount of stuff that you can stack onto it before people stop believing the true thing. So it's like you can be like, you're being fucked. Also, your mom's a whore. Also, this and this, and then you know, and so sometimes I feel like he's saying true things, but then he like throws in a few extra things, and then you have to be like, yeah,
wait a minute,
like
yeah.
Like there's like a certain amount of things that you can stack onto that thing before you have to be like, no, that's actually not what I
exactly,
think. So,
and that's what we call being a world-class bullshit. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's very easy to get people to be like, that's true. And then if you go, yeah, because, and you can get so many people to believe you. It's crazy. And it's like, yeah, it's one of those things where he's
I think he's like, he might be like our age. Like
Yeah.
a little younger, right?
Yeah.
Like 27, 28 or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And it's like, I think, so I also believe that like some of these people don't believe what they're pitching, right? And I
yeah.
think that he might be on that line.
Yeah.
But I also believe that some people at the beginning didn't believe what they were pitching.
Yeah.
And then like, so everything to me can either be broken down to, and I know you're a big poker guy, everything about me can be like, I can break down life into either poker or professional wrestling for any situation. And Nick Fuentes seems like a professional wrestler that just decided to live his gimmick. You know what I mean? Like he was like this outlandish, brash character. And then one day he was like, no, this is me now. Like, I am no longer doing this ironic. Like Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
I don't know where Tim Dillon's irony stops and the real Tim Dillon begins.
No, that's crazy to think about. Like, that, I would say that that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tim Dillon, you know, he is a comedian. He sells tickets to comedy shows.
Yeah.
But he'll talk about, you know, a baby doing heroin because you decided to play Mozart while he was in the room.
Right.
It's like, what do you actually like? What are you saying here?
Right, and it's like the one thing we know about Tim Dillon is that he is unapologetically make as much money as you can.
Yeah.
And aside from that, we know nothing about how his like internal core beliefs are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like his whole thing in the beginning was he did fake business.
Right.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
He literally would make fake phone calls and pretend to be a real estate agent looking to buy a place or
Right.
something like that. Oh, my client's looking at this place. Like, let's talk about it.
Right.
And it's just like,
it's like he's got no scruples. Like but like there's something about that is oddly satisfying.
Yeah.
Because you can look at him and you're like, all right, I know what he's about.
he's about improviser. Like,
Yeah.
like he'd be like great improv. Yeah.
He'd be a great politician. He's what Donald Trump is. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Like, we look at Donald Trump, and it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's the thing that bugs me the most when we talk about false equivalency. Like, right before the election happened, Joe Biden, he was like an old, senile old man, and nobody could tell if he said that, he was talking about Tony Hinchcliffe. And it was difficult to tell if he was saying Tony Hinchcliffe was trash for making the joke about Puerto Ricans, or if he was saying anybody that votes for Donald Trump is trash, right? And it was like, I remember when that happened and people were saying like, this could, honest to God, sway the election. Like, him calling these people trash and could make neutral people that weren't going to vote for Trump feel so bad about the way that the Democratic Party feels about Republicans that they could vote Republican.
Yeah.
That was like a real thing. And then like Donald Trump, every holiday is like Merry Christmas except to those fucking Democrats. You know what I mean? And he just like is posting AI like TikToks of like planes dropping shit onto him. Dude. And like today the Homeland Security called people imbecilic morons. It's like,
oh my gosh.
It's like the dichotomy. Like, if you want to be a Democrat, you can't even be like, those guys are fucking weirdos. But if you want to be a Republican, you could be like, I think Democrats should all suck a dick. And it's like, it's a crazy.
It's wild to me how much the White House has been using Instagram. Like,
why do Republicans love AI so much? That's the crazy thing to me.
I think that I was talking about this the last episode I just had. I think that I saw a conspiracy that like they're showing us all of these AI videos on purpose, and like they're making them like shittier. Like, so it's like they're good quality, but like you can still kind of tell if you're like a real human being and you're really looking at it. Like, it has like a different grain to it almost.
Right.
And I like what I was reading and seeing online is that people are thinking that they're doing it on purpose. So then when shit is really happening, or somebody posts a picture that is real, they can just be like, oh, that's AI. Yeah. Or they could like, I don't know. It's just like crazy. Cause like, you know, if this picture or video of DT blowing B comes out, you know,
deep fake.
Yeah. Because people have already made AI videos of Donald getting up from underneath the Oval Office desk. And I'm just like, they're so good, but you can tell that they're fake because like it's not real life.
Well, I mean, it was one of those things like when Charlie Kirk died and he did that thing from the Oval Office the day that he died and was like, Charlie, we're sorry about Charlie. That was AI.
Yeah.
And we just like, as a country,
We're like, yeah.
we're like, okay, that was weird, but nobody demanded answers. Nobody was just like, hey, why did you use AI to do this? And nobody just straight the fuck up asked him the question because like, and that's like the my biggest fault with journalism is that like they all want access to him so badly that they're afraid to ask the simple questions because he's like an egomaniac that'll just be like, I'm never talking to you again. Like he was on the Pat McAfee show and he said, I come on to shows where people talk nice about me. If they don't talk nice about me, I won't be on. So nobody asked the easy question of like, hey, did you use AI to do that? Yeah. And why did you use AI to do that? You know what I mean?
Is it worse to do that, or is it worse because I'm sure that they have, and I've like because we've heard about it or whatever, maybe seen pictures, but like body doubles, or like people like using like those like fake masks,
right,
or something like that. Like I'm wondering how much of that has gone on. Like has any president ever been able to give a speech like that? Like has somebody not been Joe Biden or Obama and gone up in like an Obama mask? Because I feel like those are the only two that it could have happened with. Because I mean, it's still like, I don't know how new the technology is, but it's like probably was only really good until like now. But like, who knows? I don't know.
Well, not saying new, but saying actually really old. There's like a very long conspiracy theory that like Winston Churchill was such an alcoholic that he would oftentimes be drunk by the like evening. And what Winston Churchill was known for during World War II was these like long radiographs to all of London, to all of England, just being like on the radio every night talking to them. It's where he had that like iconic, we'll fight him on the beaches, we'll fight him in the streets, like that, just like over the radio all the time.
There's a conspiracy that it wasn't him.
Well, and it's like not even a conspiracy. There's just like a lot of people think that it was actually, because like he would drink like gallons of brandy a day and by that time normally be passed out. And it's not even like was it? It's like they think it was the guy who did the like, because back then there was like radio plays, and it is very like, I don't know even if it's like, it could be one of those things where it's like genuinely accepted to be true, or like at least a few of them were done by the guy that did like Winnie the Pooh in the radio plays of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh wow!
That it was like that guy doing his Winston Churchill impression on the radio for like the majority of World War II and for like a lot of those things. And like the voice that carried Britain through World War II with his great leadership was actually just like an actor reading something written by staffers.
Does that make you mad, or does that make you like impressed? Because like a little bit means like, dude, because it's like, damn, Churchill really got us through that war, and fucking Winnie the Pooh's just like,
they'll never know. Yeah. No, and it's like, to me, it's always been like, I have always, and it's crazy because like I think as a stand-up comedian, it's like what I'm the worst at is like my stage presence and like how I deliver jokes. But I think that there is something, and even going back to like church, where it's like the reason Sam Kinison was so good at being Sam Kinison was because he was a pastor first. It's like there's something about the skill of oratory. There's something about the way that you can entrance somebody with the human voice that, like you said, can give like power. It can be like empowering. It can be inspiring. It can like draw you to tears. Where it's just like just with the like words and the power of your voice, where it's like it can get you through a war. You know what I mean? It can get you through the Blitz of London.
Exactly.
Like just being like, hey, here's a guy telling you to like strap in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's why there are so many speeches from coaches in Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
Is because everybody's been hit with a speech sometime in their life and been like, all right, I'm ready to run through a fucking wall.
Exactly.
Like it's great.
But also, it's like, then it also makes me think, it's like, is everything fucking scripted?
Right,
you know
right.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Is everything fucking scripted? Because, like, now I'm also hearing things, like, about, like, back in, like, Napoleon times that, like, supposedly the people, the Rothschild banking system or whatever, whoever was owning the bank over there, they knew that the war had ended before like the messenger got back, and then peddled the opposite result of the war, and like, oh my god, we lost. But then when they came back, they're like, no, we actually won. but like because of all of that fear and everything, tanked everything. And it's just like, man, like how much of like everything is already thought ahead? You know what I mean? Like how much does DARPA know? Like, the internet has been around, since the 90s for us, but was probably around for like 20 years. They say that they're like 20 years ahead of us. What the fuck's going on with aliens? It's like, are they fucking real? It's like at this point, it's like that's almost like the least of my worries.
Yeah.
It's like aliens. But then it's like if they show up, then there's like all these questions that you have to ask. And it's like, only if they're not murdering us. Like when they show up. If they show up and they're like, we're not going to murder you guys, then we're like, we have so many fucking questions.
Well, and you have to think, if they show up and do try to wage war, we have never had a technological advance like we had between the years of 1935 and 1946, right? Like that was 10 years. We got more technology because we needed the technology to beat the Nazis. And we were, for the first time, like willfully sharing information with the entire, half of the world. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've always thought that like an alien invasion is the one thing that can like truly unite the world. Like that's the one thing where like the United States and Russia will all be like, okay, we're going to cut it out for a bit,
dude,
because we got bigger fish to fry.
I think it would be super crazy, like, Independence Day style.
Like,
aliens show up. Like, it would be interesting to see what we have right off the bat. Like, what we just start seeing lasers just slicing through UFOs and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think it also like almost kind of like an underdog story. You know what I mean? Like, like they show up, fucking, they crash some crazy vehicle, and then we reverse engineer it somehow, and then build a bunch of our own with like, I don't know, fucking Earth symbols on them, and then fucking murder them. I don't know, but I always wonder about what the aliens are about. Like, are they the gods that we talked about in the religions, or are they are they the demons and the angels that like, that aren't allowed to be in heaven or something like that? And it's like, then you have all these people talking about consciousness. It's like, dude, what the fuck is actually happening? Dude, like, what should I be worried about? Should I be worried about a picture of Donnie blowing Bill Clinton, or should I be worried about like fucking ascending into a higher plane or something like that? I don't even know.
No, I'm the same way. I feel like somebody told me that there was the Old Faithful was like a super volcano that could blow up and destroy the entire world when I was like too young. So like anytime somebody's like, hey, here's this problem, I'm like, well, fucking there's a super volcano underneath us. None of this matters. And I think that's a very important thing to remember. And it's like, it's one of those things that I always try to remember for myself is like, be a little bit selfish, because at the end of the day, the only thing that you can control is how you are going through and perceive life itself. You know what I mean? Like, as of right now, that's the only thing that we control. Like, so
even just to take a step further, just like, just kind of like in my head, this popped up when you were just saying that, but like being just a little bit more present. Right. Because like maybe all these things are just distractions. Yeah. To make you scared, to then, so then you're not living your life to your fullest potential. Right. And then, I mean, maybe that's the whole game. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. My brother's always been this like very specific way where he was like, he's a very interesting guy. Like I call him Captain America because like right after high school he joined the army, then he became a cop, and then he like married his high school sweetheart, had 2 kids, like very much like the cookie cutter life that like you would think people talk about. You know what I mean? Like a very, it's a thing. And every time that I've talked to him or been like, what are your goals? What are your plans? And he was like, provide for myself and my family. And it was like, oh, dude, if that's all you're worrying about, you can fucking like mission accomplished. Like, and it's like there's, and for me to say, if that's all you're worried about, like it's flip it. It's like, good job. Yeah. Like good. But then on top of that, to add on to that, it's like, if that's all you're worried about, once you've accomplished those goals, the whole fucking world is at your feet. Right. Now it's like, you know what I mean? If you get everything done by 5, you got another 6 to 7 hours to fucking kill the day. And that was his thing. He was like, and like it's been his thing his entire life. He was just like, if I like am a cop for 20 years, I'll be able to retire with like my cop benefits,
and everything will be sick, and I'll make a ton of money, and I'll be able to retire after 20 years and be able to spend as much time as I can with my kids and be able to do whatever I want. And then it's just like, oh yeah, who wouldn't want that? Like I would totally love to be able to do that, and for that to make me fulfilled and be happy, instead of needing to just like chase the approval of random audience members. Like you know what I mean? Like, and it's like I am envious of him in that like. And, like, I don't want it to feel like I'm just, like, can you believe that that's, like, what makes him happy? Yeah. It's like, no, that's how it should be. Yeah. Like, if I could choose, I would choose that one. He's, like, he gets what he needs from within, and I have to search outward for it. Yeah. And it's, like, you know. It is what it is.
Eastern and Western philosophies right there.
Right. Truly.
Yeah. So, dude, so you said you had the Steve Hofstetter stuff coming up?
Yeah, this December 13th in Lithopolis, Ohio.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's at a theater attached to a library. So I'm like,
oh, dude, yeah. I did Shrek the musical at that.
Oh, did you really?
Dude,
you were in Shrek the musical? Yeah. Is this true? Yeah. How old are you?
I was 22, 23.
Who'd you play?
I played, you remember the guard in the beginning of the movie who's like sitting at the table gathering all the animals? Like, I'll take 3 shillings for the talking dog. That was me.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
Dude, and then I gave like this like speech in the beginning of like the whole play and everything. I like was in like the guard, whatever, and I like gave like this little speech or whatever. So yeah, it was fun.
Hell yeah, dude.
So now I can say that I have officially shared a stage.
Yeah. Dude, that's so funny.
Dude, it was, I think about that every once in a while, and I'm like, dude, Shrek the musical. Dude, because when you said theater in Lithopolis, I'm like, it's a small ass town, and that's the only place that I know that even has the capacity to hold like. Because I think it maybe like 3 to 5.
He said 3.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's not it's like a Funny Bone style size show. So
so he'll also he's doing the Columbus and Liberty Funny Bones in like July.
Okay.
So this was just like a one-off that he did because his wife is from here. His wife's from like Pickerington.
Oh wow!
So so they were in town for something, and he was like, that's
crazy.
There's a theater attached to a library, and I like libraries and theaters. Let's go tell jokes. And he sent me a text and was like, you trying to do 15? So yeah,
dude, that's
I'm out
awesome.
There.
Yeah, dude. And then anything else going on?
The Attic. We're always at the Attic. I close out every Tuesday at the Attic. 2 for Tuesday. Me and Tyson Colson, and then the first Friday of the month at the Attic, we do the Roast Battle Show.
All right, cool.
So yeah, we'll be doing that.
We'll get links to that, dude. Ian, thanks a lot. Dude,
oh, no problem, man.
Being on the show, I appreciate you. And then, guys, we will catch you guys on the next episode. We'll see you guys around.
See ya.